Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be demonstrating the key fob programming function on a 2004 Chevrolet SSR pickup. And to do that, I'm going to be using an Autel MaxiSys MS906 device, which I have here. And I'm going to show you, I have the corded version of the device, and through the diagnostics application, there's a hot function to perform key fob programming. So I'll be using this device to perform that. I'm going to show you the difference between the numbers on the back. I have the original fobs for my personal SSR here, number 1 on the back, that's driver 1, and this is driver 2. Yesterday I performed the programming function on a friend's SSR where they had 3 fobs to program into the vehicle. There were no numbers on the back of any of the fobs, so it just depends on the order that you program them into the vehicle, which driver number they're assigned. So after the introduction and information disclaimer segments, we'll get into programming them with an Autel MaxiSys MS906 device. Please review the automotive information, repair, and modification guidelines on this screen. Seek the advice of a repair professional if you're unsure how to perform any repair or modification safely and correctly. All repairs and modifications are performed at your own risk. As I mentioned in the introduction segment that I'm going to be programming 2 key fobs into my personal SSR. I showed you that they have a number on the back which corresponds to the driver number. But I did perform this programming function on a friend's SSR yesterday, and there were no numbers on the back of the fobs at all, the one that was already associated with the vehicle, nor the 2 additional ones we were adding to the vehicle. We did find out, though, that the fob that was programmed as number 3, driver number 3, did not allow the cargo cover actuator to be actuated by the pressing of the button. Like you can hear that, hopefully in the background, where it's actuated, the cargo cover release, and it didn't work for number 3. And we swapped the fobs in programming order, so we did the programming sequence again, see if the problem followed the fob, and it didn't. It stayed with the position or driver number that it was associated with. So depending on the functionality in the vehicle and whether it supports more than 2 in full function with full functionality, keep that in mind. But the door lock and unlock and everything else worked just fine, so you could potentially use that as a valet type of keys to give someone. But let's jump into the vehicle and get the MaxiSys 906 plugged into the diagnostic port and go through the programming function. It's pretty quick and easy. It's under 5 minutes for these 2 fobs. So let's start doing that now. To record the MaxiSys screen, I need to keep the environment fairly dark in the cab so I don't get any glare off the screen. I've learned that from past video recordings of a device like this, so that's why it's kind of dark in the cab at the moment. So I'm going to go into, the ignition is currently in the on position, and I've connected the cable to the OBD2 port, so I'm going to go into diagnostics, and I'm going to select GM. And I'm going to have it do automatic selection, where it should then say if I wanted to read the VIN. And it should be communicating and picked up the VIN. I'll blur out the last portion of my VIN. You don't need to see that. So let's move on and click OK. And decoding the VIN, it has decoded it to a possibility of it being an SSR or a Trailblazer EXT. The SSR is based on the Trailblazer EXT, which makes sense why I might think that. But we do have a 2004 Chevrolet SSR. It's a light-duty truck, Chevrolet truck, 5.3 liter V8. Yep, that's the vehicle. So now we're going to go into hot function, and immobilizer and keys. You can see in the upper left there we have the program key fobs selection, so we're going to select that. And we're going to say that we have 2 fobs. It has the option of up to 4, and as we found yesterday, there seems to be some limited functionality in fobs above number 2, but let's go with 2. And all the fobs need to be available, and we're going to press the lock and unlock buttons on each fob as they're being programmed so the computer can pick up which one you're working with at that point. So I'm going to click on OK. So now I'm going to, the number 1 fob, I'm going to press the lock and unlock button. Okay, that fob was successfully programmed. Let's move on to the next one. And I'm going to do number 2 now. Press the lock and unlock together simultaneously. And key fobs were programmed successfully. Press escape when done. So in theory, that's it. And we can get back out to the top level menus. We now have the 2 fobs programmed into the vehicle, so now I'm just going to do a quick button verification, make sure all the buttons do the things they're supposed to do, such as lock, unlock, cargo cover release, and panic button. So fob 1, unlock, lock, cargo cover, and panic, loud horn. That works. And this is fob number 2 that we programmed, so we're going to do unlock, lock, cargo cover. I heard that work. And again, the noisy one. Okay, all the buttons are verified. So now let's step into the vehicle and I'm going to show you the driver number verification, where each one of these will determine the driver number showing up on the driver information center. It will show up as you turn on the ignition. It'll show up right before the Chevy SSR banner. So let's check that out now. We're now going to perform driver number verification for the fobs that we programmed into the vehicle. In my particular case, I do have numbers on the back of the fobs, but in your case, you may not have that, and that's fine. It just depends on the order they're programmed into the vehicle. So in this case, I've locked the vehicle. Let's go ahead and lock the vehicle with number 1. And we come back, let's say we went off somewhere, came back, we're going to use the vehicle, we're going to unlock it. And now we're going to use the key, which the key has no immobilizer chip. It's just a blank, empty key other than, being cut for the ignition switch. That's typical of many GM vehicles of this time frame. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the ignition, and it should state that it is driver 1, which it has. So you can at least see from the first one, we have a successful pairing between the one we programmed first and driver number 1. So let's go ahead and turn it off. I'm again going to use fob number 1 to lock it, like we're leaving the vehicle. And then someone with fob number 2 comes along, and here I have number 2 in my case, but it's the second one I programmed into the vehicle. I'm going to press the unlock, and now I'm going to turn on the ignition, the same exact key I used before, and it will say driver 2. So you can see that the programming order does determine the driver number that the fob is associated with. And yesterday when we had 3 fobs to program into the SSR, of course the third one presented driver 3 when we turned on the ignition. So that does determine the driver number, and any memory functions such as memory seat positions will be corresponding to the driver number. So keep in mind, as I found out yesterday when I activated fob number 2, there was some pre-stored seat positions which became quite uncomfortable as the seat moved to where I couldn't sit in it. So keep that in mind as you're working with the vehicle. Make sure you're not going to cause a problem when the seat moves around. If it has memory seat positions, or preset them ahead of the test, that's not going to cause a problem. So with that, I hope you learned that you can use an Autel MaxiSys MS906 device to program the key fobs very easily, very quickly. And of course, there are other devices such as the original GM Tech 2, but hopefully an Autel MaxiSys 906 device is available to you. And if so, you can perform this function very quickly for your customer or yourself or friend. So thanks for coming to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. It's free to you. I would greatly appreciate it. If you like the content in this video, please hit that like button and come back to the Retro Car Guy 530 LLC YouTube channel for more tech information such as this. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, smash that like button. If this is the first time you stop by the channel, please click the subscribe button to the right. It's free. Click that bell notification to get notified when I upload new videos. Follow Retro Car Guy 530 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. Thanks for coming to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.